Good morning. Good morning. I am back this morning. I had a productive evening last night, and then when I was lying in bed after I closed my laptop, I couldn't sleep because I had all these ideas and thoughts and things running through my head. So I thought, before we go out today, I'm going to run through some of those ideas and talk to basically some of the thinking that I've got around making the implementation a bit more scalable and more sort of reusable. I come from a dev and a object-oriented dev background, so it helps me to think about things still like a dev, even though I'm currently doing things in Blueprint and sort of a no-code environment. So yeah, as I'm learning a bit more about how these things hang together, probably start switching more and more over to the C++ side of things. What I'm not quite sure yet from a Blueprint perspective is whether you can change the base class of an object or a blueprint. I haven't been able to figure out how to do that yet, so I've been recreating things when I want to change the base classing. And obviously, when I do normal development, I kind of figure out the base class and class hierarchies as you go. The first few iterations, you're building functionality, and then you start seeing the overlaps and the similarities between objects, and you start creating sort of a bit more of a class hierarchy. Sometimes you can predict what they're going to be, but a lot of the times you kind of discover it as you go through the process of building things. So with Blueprint, it feels a little bit like you've got to preemptively design, and you've got to know what you want to do before you do it. And so I'm still wrapping my head around that. It doesn't. I don't think it's going to be too hard to sort of make the changes that I want to make. And I've made some notes of the changes that I want to make, but as per usual, let's find them there. As per usual, we'll expand on this as we go along, and obviously having lots of random thoughts at 3 in the morning, and then not writing them down means that you've got to try and remember what those random thoughts were the next morning. But essentially, because I'm using a sort of a D20 system just to give me something to base my combat system off of, I'm going to create a base character blueprint, and that's going to contain things like the level and the hit dice and the type of hit dice and the attack bonus and the defense bonus of the character, and then sort of a subclass of that is just going to be a non-player character base class, and I'm not 100% sure yet. I did have some ideas about this last night. I'm going to just keep it in case those ideas resurface for me. But one of the things that I was thinking is to maintain on that class things like whether this NPC provides XP, and so you track things like that, and then maybe other things. The current sort of AI, if you could call it that, it's very, very rudimentary that I'm looking at, will more than likely be implemented at this level, because it's going to be very similar. Basically, the objects scan for an enemy in their vicinity, and when they find something in their vicinity, they go towards it, and they're going to prioritize each other over the player, except maybe the final boss will prioritize the player over his minions. Then there'll be a minion base, which is the sort of summoned creature, and an enemy base, which is obviously your NPC enemies, and they will have slightly different behaviors and the opportunity to override the behaviors of the base classes. Then you're going to have to build a few systems to just do some dice rolling, some sort of hit and damage calculators, and the experience calculator. And while I'm thinking about it, there's a nice system that I hope to be able to implement, which is a sort of an aura, defense aura around some of the enemy types, and that system, I think will require a little bit of creativity on how to make it work. So, but hopefully today what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to restructure the blueprints and implement these base classes, and then once they're there, rework the current classes and things that have already been built to make use of these new base classes. And with that, let me go back there and quickly run through what we have managed to do and what I've managed to do sort of after I signed off last night. Let's see if I can not mess up the viewport. I just want to give us a bit more space. So firstly, if we just play it, maybe I should share my screen. Let me go do that. Here we go. Okay. I feel like I'm in a team call. Can everyone see my screen? Okay. So the enemy knights now have a sort of a hunting radius where they will react to you. I'm still really not enjoying GPU performance. I've got to try and figure out what's causing that. And then when you summon a creature in their vicinity, okay, it's really slow this morning, they will come towards it and they'll start attacking it. There's a little bit of a bug with the physics where the knights will sometimes knock themselves back and go flying through the air, and I haven't really looked at that. I'll probably switch off that sort of collision and just use a collision detection that is based on that they are close, in close proximity, or an overlap collision testing, as opposed to actual impact collision testing that results in those sort of flying off into the sky behaviors, which we probably don't want to have happen. So there we go, and that's pretty much the what it actually looks like. What that implementation looks like, if I just open up those blueprints, is absolutely horrible. So this is also something that I definitely want to find a better way to do, and a more cleaner way to do, because that is an absolute mess. I mean, I don't know how anyone is going to keep sense of this. Is very simple. I mean, in terms of kind of game logic, this stuff is still clearly very simple. Either I'm doing something very wrong, or this is a really bad idea. Anyway, it's a very bad thing, all of these lines crossing each other. I don't have any idea what the hell I'm doing. By 2 weeks from now, I'm not going to have any clue. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm finding all actors of a type, and this is where the sort of base class thing started, is because I want to find all of the minion base types, and then also just use the get the player character as well. And then I compare the nearest actor of all of the minions to the player character, and if they are within the attack radius, then go up to this piece here, which says if it's within the attack radius, then make it a knight animation, set the attacking flag, and play the attacking montage. If the attacking montage is playing, then do nothing. If it is not playing, then stop playing it again. So again, also something that I need to add in here is ways to delay attacks, or to have some kind of attack speed setting, so that you're not having, if you remember, they were really swinging very wildly, and so that attack speed is obviously way too high. Then if it's not inside of the attack radius, then you check whether anything is in the hunt radius, and if it's in the hunt radius, then you move towards it, and if it's not in the hunt radius, then you do nothing. And yeah, essentially that's our very rudimentary AI that we've that I've built for these knights, and this will pretty much be the same for all of the NPC characters, barring maybe the main boss. And so that's why I think that at least some of this logic can live on the parent type, and it'll just need a little bit of specialization to deal with things like what animation to call and what animation to play, these kinds of things will need to be settable in some way, so that this blueprint actually understands how to deal with those sorts of extra pieces. So that's the logic. And like I say, I'm really not a fan of this, and I haven't spent enough time to try and make this tidy. I know there are some ways to kind of create named outputs and things like that, which will hopefully help with this. But I also think that creating creating some form of here's that overlap, and so that the attack might actually be better suited to live in this overlap sphere. But yeah, the long and the short of it, this blueprint needs a bit of tidying up. Maybe you need to use some functions and a few other things, and so we'll try and figure out how to do functions, because I haven't actually done that before, so I have no idea how to do functions. I don't again know that at a high level it's possible. Okay, enough waffle, let's build something. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just have the content browser out. I really do apologize, my nose is running again. I swear when I come onto a stream my nose starts running. And I'm going to just put it here in this game framework folder for now, just so that I can somewhere to start. Do excuse me for a second, I just need to wipe my nose because it's snotting and sniffing, and that's really gross. Okay, so we're going to create a character base blueprint, and we're going to base this off the Unreal character, and we're going to call that just character base, because for now it's just very simple. I already have a minion base, so I'm going to have to go into this minions class, and I'm just going to rename this to minions base old, and hopefully the referential that failed to say no, gosh, okay, so when you rename the parent blueprint, it seems to break the inheritance hierarchy. So I don't know that you can actually set that you can set its sort of parent classes. I don't know if this is going to work. Okay, it seems to compile again. Let's see if it'll save. Yeah, okay, it is. No, it did not enjoy that rename. So okay, so that's actually showing in the parent class. I haven't seen this before, so let's see if I can find parent in the content browser. Okay, that's very interesting. It actually feels like you may be able to change it here. Let's see if it's possible. So clicking edit, it actually opens it. does not. It does not seem to. So it definitely doesn't like saving that. And yeah, okay. So in essence, I think that kind of broke my zombie minion. So hopefully I don't have to do this too many times, because I don't want to break things too many times. So now we're going to create a the parent class. So now we're going to create the parent class is the BP character base, right? And we're going to call this our BP non-player character base. Okay. And then we're going to create our minion, which is a BP BP minion is going to be a BP non-player character base, and that is our BP minion base, and we are going to create our enemy, which is a BP non-player character base, and that is a BP enemy base. Good. Alright, so now we kind of have our class hierarchy. Now we need to recreate our minion, our zombie, and our knight. Our Baron blueprint is, I don't think the Baron has much of a blueprint yet. It does have a blueprint, but we'll redo the Baron's blueprint. I don't think it does very much. It's really just has the idle animation attached to it, so that's not too bad. So we can go and rename this one to hold. Hopefully it doesn't explode. It's exploding. It's not very much like that. It doesn't like that. Okay, so it doesn't like saving those types of changes. We're just going to have to live with it and fix things as we go. Good. Okay. Knight, we're also going to hope it doesn't explode too much. I'm going to try something there. It doesn't mind that so much, so maybe it's something as stupid as that. It is something as stupid as that. Okay. And let's see. Save everything else. Okay, so it still doesn't like our BP Baron Bloodthorn, which it shouldn't be trying to save that anyway. And I'm going to just do something silly here. And pull that old. Oh, okay, seems to be okay with that. I don't think that makes a difference. Okay. So we're going to create, we're going to just recreate our zombie for the third time now, which is a blueprint, and this minion, oopsie, minion, and you can see that it's got all of this parent hierarchy, and this we're going to call BP. I'm just going to name them minion first, and then the type of minion. So if we scan through the asset lists, all of the minions will be together. Okay. This we should be able to recreate very quickly. I can look at the capsule. So if we look at the capsule, okay, so the capsule height, I think it was 75 and 15. We come to the mesh here. It's going to be minus, I think it was 68. Let me check now. Minus 90. And the skeletal mesh that we want to use is the zombie. Go. And our animation class is the BP animal. No idiot here, right? For all my friends from Zimbo, and I need to scale the mesh by half. Flip scale it by half, and I think that was it. That was oh, and we need to set the AI controller. So we set the AI controller at the top. AI controller, and this is going to be the zombie as well. Cool. So there we go. That's our zombie blueprint recreated, and now based on our very nice minion base sort of type. I'm just going to close that because I think I have too many windows open once more. That's weird. Oh, okay, I see. I see. I don't see it apparently. Okay, now let's close some of these things. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to close all of these things, okay? I have 2 of these things, which is probably why I'm having some excitement. Yeah. Okay, so this is possibly still being referenced somewhere. So what I'm going to do, remove him from here, and remove this and this, and all of that. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a quick look. We should see that none of these things are now placed in the world. Oh gosh, yeah, because I had them placed here. I still need to do a little bit more work on this village, and it's not great. It needs a little bit of something, give it a bit more flavor. And I still need to do the water and the terrain as well, but that's fine for now. Alright, so we're going to see whether the old blueprint has all the same features as the A new one. Let's just take a look at the viewport because I don't think there was any graphs or anything. This one has its capsule collider and all of that is already on here. And his animation, his basic sort of idle animation is going. So I'm happy that that is the thing. And if we go take a look at the night, let's make sure that the old night, yes, the old night still old night has all this funky blueprint code on it that you're going to need to replicate. And what is still showing is unsaved. Okay, the village is unsaved. Let's save the village. Everything is saving. I am going to close the editor, and I'm going to reopen the editor, and I'm going to delete the I'm going to delete the old crap. I'm going to delete the old garbage if the editor ever closes. Is it closing? Is it asking me to save something, or is it just home? Come on, close. Ah, here we go. Oh god. Okay, I don't think that's a big deal. Alright, we've closed everything. Everything's closed. And let's reopen. And I hope that it doesn't take too long to reopen. Yeah. And while that is running, yes, I wanted to add one or two things here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just change that and make this character base. Okay, and chain vector base apparently. Okay, so this needs to have some level hit dice, hit dice the time. Right. Of course, the editor will decide to come over one of the day. Okay, hit dice type. Hit dice modifier. Base attack, base defense, bonus. And then I'm not quite sure, things like the skeletons taking half damage from edged weapons, you know, stuff like that might need to live here as well. Attack speed. This is probably not the best way. I should maybe do something like, instead of doing that, I should maybe do something like that. And I can no, let's see. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't actually know if markup has a 5th level of depth. I think I'm going to see if it does. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it seems to be okay. I will have a few other things that we need to add to the system, so, such like, yeah, calculating attack speeds and when you can attack and things like that. Right, while that's done there, I am. What else horrors am I dealing with here? Okay, so there's our old night, and we actually want to create the. Okay, looks like the night has now renamed itself away. Okay, so now we can go night, Okay, so that asset already exists, but it no longer exists here. Okay, so that's a problem. It may be in the actual, yeah, it might actually live inside of here, so let's go and show this explorer. But, so yeah, this is kind of why I'm not quite sure that there's certainly things that I'm not doing right. Okay, so there is the BP Night, and it's like got nothing in it. It's a 3 kilobyte file. So let's see if I now go and create a space on BP enemy. And call it BP. It's actually a paladin. I've kind of basing this off of a paladin rather than a knight per se. Okay, so now that is happy with that plan. And I'm just going to open this blueprint and the BP Knight hold so we can compare them to each other. So I'm just going to do it from the content drawer here. Gosh. And that. Okay, and Knight hold. And it horrors and shivers every time I see this blueprint. It's really, really, really ugly. Okay, so let's just check out some of the settings. You can set the skeletal mesh, it's -65 over there. So let's start by setting up the skeletal mesh. Location is -65. Everything needs to be rotated through 90 degrees. It really just makes no sense. Stabilized night mesh, and animation blueprint is also going to be the night blueprint. And I click on the none again because why wouldn't I, right? And now let's just go tweak the capsule. I need to change the skin of this thing as well, but we'll get there. Let's go take a look. Can we just select the capsule over here? It's 62 and 25. So let's see. 62, 25. And on this mesh, we want to change the material. So I quite like this this flat material. So because it's a paladin, maybe we should go with this holy. It's just it's very white. It's like stormtrooper armor. I think it's a little bit too much. Oops, that's not what I wanted to edit. I wanted to edit that piece there. Okay, so we can use that. I like that material. It gives it a nice sort of feel. And then I need to remember how to do add in I think it is a slot, and that's not a slot. Skeletal mesh. I don't think that's right. So what this is also while I was messing around last night, I got to this piece here. So it is a static mesh component, and it has a parent socket. Okay, so that's how that works, I think. So I'm going to add a skeletal mesh, a static mesh. That's right, it's actually a static mesh. So we add a static mesh, and there is a shield. And we're going to add another static mesh. And that is our sword. And it has a parent socket, so this is sword and swatter. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so the weapon R socket. Right, that's what that is. And a shield. Parent socket for that is weapon. No. Lower arm left socket. Right. Okay. So that is our shield and sword and shield. And then, very cool. If you look in this blueprint, you'll see this piece here. Now I could have just attached those models directly in the editor here, but I have in the back of my mind the idea that maybe you want to be able to change the weapons, or change the shield style, or do something like that with this knight, and you may have different, slightly varying units, or give him a mace instead of a sword or something like that. And so I added these this little piece of blueprint that sets those values at the start of the runtime, and that's cute. And hopefully I can just paste them in and do that. Right. And now, because this one has a parent that's kind of interesting, we're going to go and run it through the parent's begin play in order for, here we go. So now the child will call the parent's begin play in case there is something that the parent does differently to the child. That's very cool. I didn't know that it would do that. Okay, and then I will keep the event actor overlap, because I think that when I get a little further along, that attack stream is going to live there. Now, this event tick here that calls the parent, I am going to actually see if, yeah, so now what I'm actually wanting to do is I want to take some of this logic that's sitting here and put it on the parent, because it seems to me, I can just delete that because I'm going to use it not on this blueprint anyway. It seems to me that quite a lot of this logic actually could be done at a parent level and probably at the non-player level. So, but I'm gonna, I think in the interest of replicating what I have so that I can clean up the messes, I'm going to put this on the child, on the knight itself, and then I'm going to come back to this and update it and move more of this noise onto our parent line. So this is fine, this is fine. I need to try and get you out. Okay, there we go. Alright, so you need to come out of there. You need to go here. I'm going to put the parent tick in here. And take you in, take you in, take you in there. So now we are calling our parent the parent tick with our tick, and so if things are going to be moving to the parent, then those things can happen on the parent. Okay, so that should be right. It's not happy about something. What is it not happy about? Okay, it is not happy about the HUD radius, and it is not happy about the attack radius. So now here's where I'm going to try and get a bit more clever. In our game framework, on our non-player character, we are going to add those variables here and see whether they are. So there's a HUD radius, and there is a float. this could break connections. Change the type, that's okay. Okay, and we want to make that available, and then we're going to put our attack radius on here as a float and make that visible. So now these two variables are at the parent level of this object, and hopefully it will compile because it knows about them, because they're in yes, you see now that is cool. So now that means that that HUD radius is available to all the children of our blueprint. I really think that's quite clever. That's now patting yourself on the back for doing clever things. So now we've actually recreated our BP Knight, and if we want to test this, I'm just going to put it's actually drawing the nav mesh for it. Let's put one of them in the scene, and if we play it, it should I don't know, radius might be a bit small. No, something is not there. Something is not right, because it's just going to take a look. Is it actually? Oh, let's switch off this. Alright, he is, does look like he is idling, but he's not doing, no, that can't be the problem. Yeah, he's idling, but he's not braining at all, so, I'm sorry, I just want to go into this nav mesh. Where's the nav mesh? And switch off. It's still not. Okay, something strange going on here because it's showing the nav mesh bounds where it previously wasn't. And I have no idea why. That's because the nav mesh is way up in the sky. Why is it up there? What is it doing it? Zero. That's odd. That is super odd. We'll figure that out soon. But before we figure that out, let's go back into our blueprint, because I suspect that on our Knight we have not actually given it an AI controller. Yes, it does not have an AI controller. So AI Knight. And let's take a look. Maybe it's still not reacting to the player. Closer. Still not reacting. Okay, so we're gonna have to fix that bug, but unfortunately I have to head out, and there is possibly part of the issue. Yeah, that wasn't actually inside of the nav mesh. I don't think it can anything. Okay. We're going to have to take a break there because unfortunately I have a event to attend today. But I'll go fix up my night and figure out why it's not behaving as we expect it to behave. And hopefully by the time I come back, I'll have solved that bug and finished implementing some of the other types. Thanks again for watching and indulging my really weird rambling some days. And I hope that you have a great Saturday. Good night.